Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Hero Highlight, where we talk about our D&D characters, campaigns, and their worlds. I'm Void,
I'm Chloe.
and we are going to be talking about our current characters that we are playing as when we're not DMing. So, I have about 6 years of D&D experience, both as a player and as a DM.
I have about 4 years of player and DM experience. I'm actually teaching how to DM as well.
Yes, you are.
Player.
Chloe has created a boiled down version of the player handbook in order to teach new DMs and players, and will hopefully start a whole bunch of new campaigns with your help.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa. So, your current character.
So my current.
Yep.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. So my first current character, Jesus Christ. It's been a day, apparently.
Yeah.
Is Danira. She is, she's gone through a lot of changes since her creation, but she's my most current character. She started as a ranger ASMR, living in the woods of Whaleside, which is a place in Zach's campaign.
Yeah.
She looks mostly human, so you wouldn't be able to tell that she's ASMR, except that she normally has gold eyes when not cursed.
Yeah, she's currently cursed with purple eyes because she's more non-human than allowed.
Yes. But no, she has a set of, it's like maybe like 10-foot wings, but they're like the pretty white. She looks like an angel.
Yeah, she's angel baby.
Yup.
Yup.
So she's from a land called Mutefair, which was a lawless land, which caused her entire family and tribe to be killed when she was young, making her the last of her tribe. And her main goal to eventually reach is that she wants to find another ASMR to reproduce. That's the nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
She learned how to be a ranger probably around 13 and how to survive on the land after her family was killed. So my first version, she was almost kidnapped at 15 for her wings, and she fled to Whaleside, where she spent her time roaming the forest and homesteading for trade. Then she was meeting up with a group, and we get a campaign.
Yeah, basically she was lost, she went into town, and then they adopted her.
Yeah, that's normally what happens, though, with outcasts.
Yeah, they kind of just get adopted of like, oh, you're young and you're frail and I must take care of you, because there's always a parent character.
Yeah. Whole other thing. However, she's actually gone through a recent change. In this other version, she was kidnapped by a freak show when she was 10, or around 10. And then she would finally leave that place around 16 or 21, depending on how long she decided to stay there. And then she would go to Whaleside, where her story would continue normally. But the main thing is that she would stare with a pair of monster lesbians. The Ruby Zach was talking about last episode is one of those lesbians. But like we talked about how much I love to give my characters trauma.
Yeah, so your first character was terrified of dragons and spiders, and this character gets adopted by a dragonborn and a spider.
I didn't think of that correlation. That's a good correlation, though.
Yeah, no, that's a fun through thread of like completely different character, but there's that same dragon and spider combo showing up.
Mm-hmm. Accidental.
Yeah.
But because of the trauma, she was kidnapped at 10. So the ringleader would force her wings open, to be in the freak show, using spider webs.
Yeah, it'd make her put them on display, because she was pretty stubborn and would like tuck them away, right?
Mm-hmm. Because as she grows older, like she has them under like this, I don't know, I've always seen it as like a leather cage to hold the wings back. That's always what I've seen, but it's like I've never specified like that's how she keeps her wings down.
It's like a sling backpack combo, right?
Yeah.
Like it keeps it kind of tucked in.
Yeah. It's small enough though that like her wings stay kept down and it doesn't like show to others or is really pronounced.
It looks like a weird backpack.
So this third version kind of goes into Zach's campaign, his current one, where she was kidnapped by the freak show when she was around 10 still. However, she's continued with the group in the show, and is salty about it when she meets the party.
Yeah.
I was actually like looking up her stats.
Yeah, what's her dump stat and what's her best stat? I think that'd be a good thing to touch on.
God, why am I so bad at Constitution?
I don't know. You pick squishy boys.
I do. Her lowest stat is a -3. It's a 5.
And what is that? Constitution?
Yep.
What's her best stat?
Dexterity, it's an 18.
Okay, that makes sense with her wings and being able to be kind of flighty.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, she's not constitution-y. Healthy?
She's frail.
Frail, yes. She's also not strong.
Okay.
But she's street smart. Very street smart.
Okay, so she's got wisdom there just because she was living on her own for a while and she's kind of had to make her way.
Yeah. I currently have her as an Outlander background, but I'm actually thinking about changing that for this upcoming campaign into a more entertainer background.
Because she grew up in the circus.
Yeah.
Because with this campaign, she's got about 6 years of being in the circus with the dragon and the spider, right?
Yeah, and something that I like to tell my students is that your background is your level 0 information.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you spent, like however many years before you got level 1, that's what most of whatever you're doing that the most time of, that should be what your background is.
Okay, so the before the campaign stuff is your background.
Yes.
Cool. And in this case, because of the campaign and talking with the DM, you want to change the background because it changes.
Yeah.
Kind of that history of that character.
Yeah.
And that's only if you're like porting it around, but you can also change your backstory in the campaign if you feel it doesn't make sense, like if you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple characters where you make them and you're just like, this doesn't fit. Like, I don't think he's actually this. I don't think she's actually this. I think she would have been doing this instead.
Yeah. Squirrel, my brain lost a train of thought.
So the fun thing about our current characters is that Close is in my campaign where I'm DMing, and then mine is from when Chloe was campaigning.
Yep.
Or was DMing.
Yep.
In that campaign.
Yes.
Because we do a lot of campaigns together, and we just kind of evolve our characters with them.
Mm-hmm. Hence the reason for the podcast together.
Yeah, no, we thought this would be best just to go over all of our crazy stories, and I kind of wish we had a campaign that's like, oh, it's been years and years, but it's hard to keep a campaign together. Mm-hmm. So do a lot of kind of shorter ones, but we keep these threads going of, oh, we have this character reoccurring, we have this as an NPC, we have these kind of through jokes that go through.
Mm-hmm.
So we've built it into the same universe, just different timelines almost.
Yeah. You can kind of see that with a group of characters that I have. Because like my brain thinks is like, oh, so Lida, my first character, her world is like in the past, and then you kind of get the evolution into, I have a family group that we'll talk about in a later episode.
Yeah. We have a lot of things that we want to touch on, but we're trying to stay more focused on the what's current today.
Yeah, honestly, if I could probably go on like a 2-hour rant about just everything, but that would be kind of boring for everybody else.
Same. Not the boring, but I would be the boring one in that case.
Nobody wants to hear us rant for 4 hours.
Yeah, no. So we have 30-minute little who are you playing now
yeah.
is today's episode.
Yeah, so... And then, Daenerys is probably kind of more future, past, where my characters are. I actually came up with a neat and tidy bow to connect our two campaigns, but Zach said no. Or he kind of ignored it.
What was that again?
Oh, okay, so... Miller.
Yep.
We'll talk about him in a second.
Yep.
He ends up going apeshit.
Yep.
God complex, level 15 powers... all the whole 9 yards.
The rest of the party's level 2.
Yes. Yeah. Total party kill.
Yep.
They were pretty sad when their characters died, but they got the chance to be reborn, fighting death, or playing a game against death, technically.
Yeah.
Flip the coin, flip the coin, flip the coin.
Yeah, it basically turned into just keep playing until you win, because all of the people wanted to bring their characters back.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, I thought we'd at least have someone want to shuffle, but we did end up bringing all of our characters back past a demon apocalypse and then into my timeline. So this was the shift between Chloe's campaign changing hands to my campaign with the same storyline but with a time skip built in.
Mm-hmm. So for me, the time skip would have been that the demon lord who ended up being Miller's father ends up ruling for years. Eventually, 5 knights would show up and go against the demon lord, kill him, take over all of the land, and split it up into the 5 kingdoms.
Yep.
Thus leading to the 5 kingdoms and that whole insanity that is another episode entirely.
We have a world building episode planned. No, and that I like that idea a lot, but when I took over the campaign, I like smaller maps. I don't like whole world adventures, so I boiled it down to you get to live on one fairground where our campaign is now going to guard a circus. So,
which my character is a member of the circus.
Yeah, so that's where Daenerys comes in. Daenerys is going to be one of the freak show characters for the actual party. So she's not part of the party when we start, but will probably get adopted, because that's how that happens.
At least for a couple sessions, and then, I'm gonna piece out Girl Scout.
Yeah, so Chloe has to leave, so we're trying to build in a non-high stakes character arc. So comes in, is part of the freak show, and then will become an NPC once Chloe leaves my campaign.
Yep.
So then for my character, so my current character is Miller, and this was the campaign half we just finished where Chloe was leading it. So he is a tiefling, so he has red skin and golden eyes and bull horns.
Don't forget the luscious golden hair.
He has golden hair. And it's like kind of that, not mullet style, but that shoulder length, scruffy.
I think he's cute.
He cute. But he's a ranger rancher. So he's a ranger tiefling, but his background...
If this was set in modern day, he would be a country star.
Yes, but he doesn't sing, but yes. He is a...
He could be in a country boy band.
Yes, full ass.
That's a totally thing.
Yeah. Fucking cowboy boy bands, got it. I'm sure that's a thing, it's just not my genre.
Fleetwood Mac?
Sure. I don't know.
I don't know either, I'm guessing.
The best I got is Dead South. So...
Poor man's poison.
Yeah, it could be Poor Man's Poison. That's his character is based off of a song by Poor Man's Poison, Hell's Coming With Me. And it basically is this religious, small-town country demon boy that grew up in this town and then wanted more. So he hits the age of 30. He's been a rancher at all of this time. He got adopted by his 2 human parents. His dad, he didn't know what happened. Later on, we find out he was the demon prince that got left there to be groomed, essentially. So, small town country boy, living in the town, only tiefling around. A zombie apocalypse plagues this town, and it's pretty low level. Like, it's very, like, Mima comes back and tries to pound on your door, but she can't really do any damage. It's more of a nuisance than anything. So, Miller's life goal up to that point was just stave off these monthly zombie attacks. And he never questioned where it came from. He didn't really care. He just went, I'm going to handle it. He tried a few things the first couple of years, and eventually he's just like, screw it, I'm going to put him back in the ground, and it'll be good for another 30 days. So he gets bored, and he's like, I'm going to go travel. So he travels to the main city, and that's where the campaign picks him up. And it starts off with he kicks the door into a bar and goes, "Bartender!" Wait, that's not his voice. Hang on. I just kind of threw a loud voice in there. Well, he's Southern, so basically he does this. He's like, "Hey, bartender, give me a drink, except I have no money." I don't know what that voice turned into. It's fine. So he barges in, and he makes friends with one of our other players, Dwarf.
Yep.
Dwarf.
Mountain dwarf.
Fighter. Goes up next to him, and he's like, "I would like a drink. Can we bet for a drink? Because you look like a good man. Let's make a bet." And then Ghost goes, "I don't do bets, I do fights." Miller goes, "Great, let's go fight. Let's go outside." So they make a big enough ruckus that the rest of the party members come outside to watch, where they find the cow.
Good transition.
Good transition. So they go outside. Miller and Ghost are going to square up. They're doing this, you take 10 paces and then you do whatever the fuck you want type thing. We know it's a non-lethal, it's an honorable duel. But while they're out there, our other party members find that Miller has brought his calf called Infernia. And she is a Highland cow.
About 10 months old.
And she's got the cream and the brown coloration. So Miller brought her along.
The little horn nubbers.
She's got little nubby horns. So he brought her along because this is like his baby. And he figured that she could, when she gets older, she can pull carts. He could sell her fur. If she got bred, she could produce milk. Basically, this was I'm leaving and I'm not planning on coming back. I need something. So he brings his cow and he takes good care of her. But they go out and they start playing with her, and that's a fun thing, while Miller is doing this duel. Basically punches the dwarf and knocks out half of his health, and the dwarf goes, "Fuck!" And then punches him back. Miller's like, "What are you gonna do? I'm twice your size," because he's like 6 foot something with horns. So the dwarf punches him in the stomach, and he actually ends up going down. They do a considerable amount of damage to each other. Miller goes for the second punch, and he's like, okay, you win. You win, it's a draw, good match, good man.
Let me buy you a drink.
So they go inside, everyone kind of herds themselves back in. And then Miller's like, "I'm new in town. What is there to do?" And then they end up doing, it was a bar, like, game show almost, where the riddle man came, you had to solve these riddles. And it was supposed to be all individual, but then our whole party just kind of teamed up because we each got like one answer when we tried it on our own. So then they combined all of the answers together and we won a necklace. Mm-hmm. But Ghost and Miller end up having to share a bed because Miller's flat broke. He has lived his whole life in small town barter and favors.
You kind of told the story.
What? What one?
The reason why Miller puts a pillow in between them.
Oh yeah, so Miller is. He's confused. He's gay, but he's confused right now. He's been with the women before. Jolene. There's an NBC named Jolene. That's just the song Jolene as a person. So they're sharing a bed, and Miller's like, "I'm putting a pillow between us. I don't want to feel you up against me at night." It's like, you're going to basically be a backpack on me if you're behind me. Don't do that. I don't like you that way. You're a good man, but no. Something along those lines. But yeah, Miller, so that's how the party starts. Then they start going around and they get a letter saying that they need to go back for the zombie apocalypse because I'm calling it apocalypse. It's not. It's the minor inconvenience. They need to go back, and Miller's father, who's supposed to take care of this, is no longer able to because he's dumb and did a backflip off the table like we discussed in our first episode of our first characters. We decided to have that be a running joke of characters flipping themselves off of bar tables and harming themselves.
Yeah.
So the whole party decides, hey, we're going to help with this. We're going to go back. They root around for a while. They get to know the NPCs. They find out the preacher man has something to do with it. Whole bunch of craziness. They try to defeat the zombies, but Miller is awful at all of his roles. So they had spent the whole day kind of digging into his past life. Small town, everyone knows everything. It's just a whole mess. So he fails everything.
What is the beer called again? I can't remember.
The town hero.
Yep.
So, like, he's well enough known that the bar named the spicy drink, it's basically a fireball drink, after him. And then they find Jolene. They figure out that they used to, like, be with each other. So that was kind of a spicy thing. Miller's embarrassed like hell about all this. They go to his preacher man. They're not exactly nice to him. So Miller's embarrassed all hell. They go to actually fight the zombies. He tanks all his rolls. Normally, he perches himself in a tree and shoots, again, Ranger, shoots all the zombies, calls it a day, puts them back in the hole. He's been doing this alone for a while. But now the whole party's there, and he can no longer shoot and hit for shit. So he ends up falling out of a damn tree.
It's performance anxiety.
He has performance anxiety. So...
He can't stay up in the tree.
Yeah, no, he can't keep it up. Especially with Jolene around.
I should preface this. Jolene is no longer interested in Miller. She likes the little peoples now.
Yeah, Jolene's whole shtick is she likes the weird ones, and Miller's no longer weird to her because he's been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
So she's now interested in Ghost, and Ghost is like, no. No, I'm not having it.
Yeah.
So they go around, they kill the zombies, they end up gaining a new party member that's a grung.
Floating in the lake of ash.
Flowing into the lake where they bury all the dead bodies because they just started burning bodies and cremating them and putting them in the river. So the whole riverbed and lake is just ash of corpses.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's a lot. But basically this was... The whole campaign was trying to figure out the zombies, trying to figure out the bodies and all this stuff. So eventually they just go, okay, we did what we could. It's over. We can't figure out anything. But let's stop into the preacher man one more time so Miller can say goodbye because he's actually leaving this time. So they go to the preacher man and he's acting pissy ass. He's being a bitch about it. And they're like, he has an amulet that has evil. They detected magic. He has evil amulet, whatever. So our party goes up and snatches it from him. And Laurie's his boyfriend. Miller, he sees that his preacher is attacking his friends, and he kind of has to make a decision on who to protect. He's been a loyal, cleric. He's been a loyal member of this church, for most of his bringing up. So he ends up shoving his preacher back, taking the necklace that was making him pissy, and they run off. And he's like, I'm not coming back. Bye. Fuck it. We just need to get out of here. I don't know why I was shoving you, but we're just going to leave. Mm-hmm. So later on in the campaign, the amulet gets passed around a few times. They figure out it just makes people kind of roid ragey. So they keep it in a water skin so no one is touching it. It gets passed around every once in a while of just, oh, hey, who's holding it? Hey, I'll take it, whatever. So they're trying to solve this mystery of some missing items. They end up in a vampire's home, and they scare him off. That was going to be another plot line. But then this is when Miller starts to go crazy. So they find a book with Infernal.
Yep.
Infernal in it. He reads it out, and it's basically hinting at the prophecy of the King of Hell has a son that's been abandoned on Earth and is now being groomed to be the bringer of the apocalypse. So Miller reads that and he's like, wait, what the fuck? That sounds like it's talking about me. How is that possible? So at this point, Miller has the necklace in his person. He has it in the water skin on his person. He's reading this. As he's reading through this book, he gets a paper cut. He starts bleeding. He's like, Sam Hale, what the fuck? Whatever. So he starts bleeding, and as this happens, he suddenly gets this big surge of energy where he goes from a level 2 ranger to a level 15 ranger with powers of the Dark Lord, of his father and demon king basically is giving him all these OP powers. We had to end the campaign with Chloe as the DM, and we figured total party kill, so that way they die and then they can be resurrected. But he goes batshit. He's level 15. He's summoning creatures. He's summoning vines, so everyone's stuck where they are, and he's just rangering them from his location.
Pew, pew,
Yeah.
pew.
Because all the others are either magical or our fighter is an axe based, so he has to get up close. So that basically trapped him there. Our grung is just trying to figure out what's going on, is crawling on the ceilings. He's lighting things on fire, and he's just like, oh, don't you worry, honey. I'm feeling great right now. They're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is this? So they're like, it's the necklace. So they keep trying to snatch the necklace, but he's built a whole bramble of vines around him so they can't get close. It's not the necklace. The necklace was just one of the artifacts that was needed for it, and it just was, I don't know, extra fuck you damage almost.
Yeah.
Like, but they were like, it's the necklace. As soon as we get the necklace, he'll be fine. No, he was messed up anyway. But the whole plot line ended with Miller total party killing, and then he also ended up dead. And he had foreseen the future of, I saved you. This was going to be an apocalypse, and you were going to be enslaved if I didn't kill you now. But it was damn good to feel like a god for a little while. And that was kind of how he was going through this. Of he was doing the right thing for his party by saving them, by killing them himself. And it was going to be, you're not a tiefling, so you won't survive this. So I'm going to kill you now so you don't have to suffer through the apocalypse. Because he is a good aligned character, even though he's a tiefling. So they died, and then he's going to be resurrected into my new campaign. He's just going to morph into an NPC for... He's going to be a DM's guide, essentially. I'm going to play as him, but only when I need him. Otherwise, he's going to lay low, he's going to fuck off, whatever. Mm-hmm. So... My current character is very involved, but that's just because he was the crux of your campaign, essentially.
Yeah. Because I tried to build it around, like, each character has their own arc. Mm-hmm. We just ran out of time, and some of the characters weren't... I needed to talk with them more, and failure on my part.
Well, we only met once a month, and we only had, like, 3 or 4 sessions. And we were dragging it out. We were supposed to be done with the zombie apocalypse, episode 1.
Not 2.
1 or 2. But everyone was very invested in the characters there. So it was more slow-paced, get to know the characters, get to know the family, explore a little bit more. We were still trying to figure out what the party wanted to do. And they're very inquisitive and less... Because I've had parties where it's like, kill the thing, move on.
Yeah.
We thought it would be more like that, but they wanted to be more in depth, so we decided to just make that the arc.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of working together. Chloe was the DM, but because my character was so integral, we were working together. And then also knowing that I would eventually take over the campaign at some point.
Yeah.
So, anything else about your character? I kind of went on a long one about Miller.
I didn't describe her. I know we did the lovely flowing locks of Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Daenerys, though, she has got red hair. I don't know. I said gold eyes.
Yeah, she had gold eyes that are now purple in my campaign.
Yeah.
Because of the curse thing.
Yeah. Honestly, picture your favorite redhead and give her gold eyes. That's about it.
And then angel wings.
With angel wings, yes.
And then she's 16, so she's young, she's rebellious.
Yeah, it depends on, like, the timing. 'Cause yes, 16, 21, young adult.
Yeah, young adult, and at some point she's going to leave the circus where she got brought into, but right now she's in the circus.
Yeah.
But she might just end up leaving because she's old enough to take care of herself, and she has.
Yeah. It's gonna be a very sad day when she leaves the spider ladies.
Yeah, the spider and the dragon lady are gonna miss her, because they raised her as her own. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about all I got. Unless we need to fill time.
No, we're ending up on time. And that was a lot about our characters, but also the campaigns that they were part of. So I think that's fun, because the campaigns make the characters. So whenever you have a character, they're going to start off pretty boring. Mm-hmm. And then just go with the flow, and you're going to have a lot of fun with it. They're going to evolve with those stories and what they're learning of Miller being embarrassed by Jolene being around. That was completely unplanned, but became a favorite joke.
did.
It really, every episode we had to go see Jolene. But just go with the flow, use your characters, and just let some stupid stuff happen. Like, even if it's not, like, your character's best rolling stat or something, do some dumb stuff.
Mm.
It's like, oh, they're really clumsy, make them do some dexterous stuff, and just see what happens, because they might fall, and that might be a funny story. Like, just go with it. It'll be super fun. Your characters will evolve with you.
Quote of the episode?
Oh no, the quote of the episode. So we've decided to add what's your character's favorite quote, and it'll be the quote of the episode. And one of Miller's was when he received a message magically from our other character. She was a wizard? Sorcerer.
Something like that.
So got a message, and this again became a running joke. So he got a message, and he is from a town with no magic.
He's also very stupid.
So he gets the message in his brain. He panics and starts looking around like, what the fuck? He goes, they're dang on talking in my brain hole. Where did that come from? And then later on, they go, he just decided that's like, you should talk in his brain hole. That's what we should do, right? So, quote of the day is they're talking in my brain hole.
Good.
Yep. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed listening. You're not watching. Listening to this episode of Hero Highlight. We will have a new episode out soon. Go do some dumb stuff with the characters. Go find some fun stories.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.